Today on Mystery Hunters.
They're in your cities. They're in your neighborhoods. They're in your homes. They're psychic pets.
She can see the future.
I not only meet people who say their pets are psychic, I test their psychic powers scientifically.
We've proved that dogs can read people's minds.
And I go on a hunt for a creature that definitely isn't man's best friend. It's called the Jersey Devil, and hundreds of people say they've seen it haunting the pine forests of New Jersey.
They'd wake up in the middle of the night hearing like a loud shriek, and there'd be this bizarre creature.
And Doubting Dave
Shows you how you can catch psychic creatures of your own.
This is Mystery Hunters.
We'll be right back with more Mystery Hunters. We now return to Mystery Hunters.
Christina?
That was freaky.
Yeah, it must have been some dream.
No, nightmare, not a dream. And this was in my nightmare. Do you ever have nightmares about creatures that we've investigated?
I guess so.
I mean, I guess it makes sense that we have nightmares, considering the monsters that we try to hunt down, like werewolves, Mothman, chupacabra.
Vampires. Don't forget Doubting Dave.
I guess monsters are everywhere. Well, whatever it is, I'm off to go see if this Jersey Devil is a monster or a myth. Later. People have been reporting sightings of this weird creature haunting the Pine Barrens of New Jersey for hundreds of years. In fact, so many people have seen it, they named the New Jersey Devils hockey team after it. Russell?
Ah, Christina.
Russell Jewell studies the Pine Barren. He's heard all the stories. What do you know about the Jersey Devil?
Well, nobody really knows when the first sighting was, but if you trace the legend back far enough, you find out about Old Mother Leeds.
The story goes that Old Mother Leeds had 12 children, but when the unlucky 13th was born, it had a curse on it. They say the baby looked normal at first.
As people were looking at this little baby, horns started growing out of the top of its head. It sprouted out wings, and his face started getting long and ugly to where he looked like a horse. And the people of South Jersey started getting really scared about it. And they'd, wake up in the middle of the night hearing like a loud shriek or a howl outside. And they'd look out the window, and there'd be this bizarre creature jumping up and down, making all kinds of noise.
Where did you say he was born again?
Leeds Point.
Thanks a lot, Russell.
Christina, be careful.
I will. I think these are the ruins of the old Leeds place. Some people say that this is where the Jersey Devil was born, and that it returns here. I don't see anything just yet.
People and dogs have always had a special relationship. Maybe closer than we have with any other animal.
And everyone's heard true stories about pets that do things that are hard to explain. Like Max. After getting lost 45 miles from home, he managed to find his way back all by himself. And like Chester, when his owner got sick and couldn't get up to get her medicine, Chester somehow knew to bring it, saving her life. Like Jeannie, when her owner just thinks about taking her for a walk, she goes crazy. If your dog knows what you're gonna do before you do it, does that mean he can read your mind?
Well, what I'm getting at is, could your pet be psychic? I'm about to meet someone who says that hers is.
She can see the future and know when I'm getting close to home.
The name of Katie's psychic pet is Daisy.
She will wake up from a nap, get out of her kennel, and then go over to the door and sit down and stare at the door. And she'll do that about 45 minutes or so before I come home. I don't know how to explain it. She just seems to know.
Katie isn't the only owner who says her dog is psychic. This is Hillary and her dog Tegan.
I can't explain it.
Hillary is convinced that her friend is no ordinary dog.
I have a crazy cool connection with her. I was just recently at my mom's for a couple of days, and she'd know that I was coming home a long time before I even actually got there. She's done that so many times now.
There's definitely a trend here, but I need to find out for sure if dogs are psychic. Oh, great Connor, with this crystal ball, tell me what the future holds for me. I'm picking something up.
Do you want a psychic pet of your own? You don't have to go to a pet store to find one. There are probably thousands of them crawling around your neighborhood right now. What are they? Crickets. And they know you're coming. To test the psychic powers of a cricket, go to a place where they live. Then scoop one into a jar. Bring your cricket home. Then find a bigger jar to make a cricket condo. Put some soil in it, and some twigs, a few leaves, and a rock. And maybe a little piece of fruit in case your cricket gets hungry. Now pour your cricket into the cricket condo. Then quickly cover it with a cheesecloth and wrap a rubber band around it to prevent escape. Your cricket will be pretty quiet at first, but once he gets used to the place, he'll start chirping. That's when you're ready to test his psychic powers. Test number 1, the cricket thermometer. Somehow, crickets know the temperature, and they can tell you with their chirps. Just count the number of times your cricket chirps in 14 seconds. Then write it down and add 40, and you'll get the exact temperature of your room in Fahrenheit. But how? Crickets chirp by rubbing their wings together, and the warmer it is, the faster they chirp. But nobody really knows why they all chirp at the same speed in the same temperature. Test number 2, the cricket burglar alarm. If you keep a cricket in your room, he'll get used to the people there and chirp. But when a stranger shows up, he'll stop, letting you know you're not alone. Lab assistant. And there you have it. 2 great tricks you can do with crickets. But are they really psychic? If they were, they probably wouldn't be this easy to catch.
We'll be right back with more Mystery Hunters. We now return to Mystery Hunters.
I'm on the trail of a scary monster. It's called the Jersey Devil. Some say it came into being right here. What's that? This place is giving me the creeps.
Easy, Christina.
Laura, I wasn't expecting you just yet.
I'm sorry.
These are the Jersey Devil Hunters, a group of adults who devote all their spare time to tracking this monster down.
We get people that report sightings to us still all the time. I got them as recently as 2 weeks ago. Footprints, things landing on people's houses, mysterious shapes flying overhead.
The more I think about it, the less I think I want to find this monster. Did you guys hear that?
Came from over here.
You see anything?
Couldn't tell how far away it is either.
Is this it? Is he out there right now watching us? Why do I keep searching for this monster? It gives me nightmares. Maybe I have to come face to face with my own fear of monsters before I find this one, and I know a better place than this to do it.
Can dogs be psychic?
She just seems to know.
Can they see the future
I can't explain it.
and read your mind? Let's start testing these dogs. Oh, great Connor, with this crystal ball, tell me what the future holds for me. I'm picking something up. It's
dog breath. Now, great Xochitl, make this bone disappear before my very eyes. Hey, I guess it's kind of like disappearing. This isn't working. So I think I need to get some help from pros. Here at the University of Florida, scientists are actually doing real experiments to test the psychic power of dogs. Hi, Nicole. Can you tell me a little bit about the experiments you're doing with dogs?
Yeah, currently we're taping dogs' behaviors with webcams when the owner's not home, and simultaneously taping the owner's car to see if the dogs really do know when the owner's coming home.
What have the results been? Are the dogs you're testing psychic?
That experiment's rather new, and we don't have results yet. But I have a shorter experiment that might give you some results.
Great.
Can dogs read minds? This experiment will tell us.
So Maddie here is going to be thinking positive thoughts like, come here, doggy, I want to play. And over here, Nathan is going to be thinking negative thoughts like, leave me alone, doggy, I'm reading. Not right now. Nicole is going to release Marie here, and if Marie can really read minds, she should go to the person that's thinking positive thoughts and stay away from the person thinking negative thoughts. All right, Nicole, please release the dog.
This is it. This is where we find out if dogs can read people's minds.
Hey, I just went on safari and discovered a whole new species. The wild mystery illustrator. And it all started with an email I got from 11-year-old Darby McPhee of Bowden, Alberta. Take a look. Take a look on the domestic mystery illustrator. Dear Doubting Dave, could someone ever discover a new kind of animal? Something that isn't like any animal we already know. Well, Darby, new animals are discovered all the time. In fact, more than 15,000 new species are discovered every year. They're discovered in rainforests, in the ocean, and in all sorts of other places we've barely begun to explore. Most of them are little things like new kinds of bugs and frogs. But sometimes we find bigger ones. Like a tree kangaroo that was just discovered in New Guinea, or a bright red squid that was recently spotted in the Atlantic. And once in a while, something totally unexpected turns up. Like when scientists first ran into a platypus. They didn't know what to make of it. They had never seen a duck-billed, otter-footed, egg-laying mammal. So they had to create a new category on the animal kingdom chart. And the platypus is its only living member. So, Darby, if you're interested in becoming a naturalist, you should consider all that good news. In fact, scientists believe there are more animals in the world that we don't know about than ones we do. That means there are literally millions of new species waiting to be discovered. Maybe I'll see you out there. Ugh. This is why I can't have nice things. Ugh.
We'll be right back with more Mystery Hunters. We now return to Mystery Hunters.
A monster called the Jersey Devil has been haunting the pine forest and my mind.
I didn't mean to scare you.
I went out in search of it with a group of professional Jersey Devil hunters, but I'm still having nightmares. So I decided to deal with my fear of monsters head on.
Are you scared yet, Christina?
Hey, Jeremy. Jeremy makes monsters for a living. They're used in scary movies. So, Jeremy, what made you decide to devote your life to scaring the heck out of people? I mean, what made you have this need to want to make monsters?
I guess I just like scaring people. I've been doing stuff like this since I was a little kid in my parents' house.
Do you ever get nightmares? I mean, you're surrounded by, like, monsters.
I did when I was younger. I mean, that's kind of why I got into this. I wanted to know what was behind those dreams and why monsters were scary, and figured the best way to do that was to learn about making them myself.
But Jeremy isn't the only one obsessed with monsters. People pay money to get scared at monster movies. Kids buy monster toys. The Jersey Devil hunters, they're adults, but they spend their free time looking for a monster. And I've been hunting monsters for years. But there's one question I never thought to ask. Why do you think people are so obsessed with monsters?
Do you really want to know?
Yes. Professor Mittman. Professor Asa Mittman actually teaches a course on monsters at a university. He's a monster expert. Professor, why do people keep believing in monsters even if we know that they're not real?
Monsters help us understand our fears. We're all afraid of something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that most of us are afraid of is the unknown, things we don't know anything about, things we don't understand, strange things that we see out in the dark.
Yeah, like when you can't tell what something is. Did you guys hear that?
And a monster helps us understand that by giving it a body, making it a real thing that we can give a name to.
Mm-hmm.
And once you give something a name, then it's not such a scary monster anymore, really.
Could people have invented the Jersey Devil to control their fear of the unknown?
You know, wake up in the middle of the night hearing like a loud shriek or a howl outside.
I guess that's possible. But what about my nightmares? I've been having these crazy nightmares ever since I started researching this Jersey Devil story.
What I do, anyway, is I would keep researching them. The more you learn about them, and the more you learn about the people who invented them or who made them up, the less scary they really should become.
Making monsters was a way to kind of battle those nightmares.
This one that you're seeing, what does it look like?
It has these massive, like, bat wings, and then his head is like the head of a horse, and then he stands up on his hind legs, and he starts to jump like this, like a kangaroo. Kangaroo.
So you see, you're laughing about them already. They're not that scary.
I guess not. People believe in monsters all over the world. And here is the Jersey Devil. But is it real?
I don't know. It's a really important part of the folklore of South Jersey.
All I know is I'm gonna keep hunting for it. And I'm not gonna be afraid of monsters anymore.
Could dogs be psychic?
She can see the future and know when I'm getting close to home.
Can they really read your mind? I'm picking something up. This time, I'm doing a real scientific experiment to find out if dogs have psychic powers. Nathan is directing the thoughts, "Go away," at the dog, while Maddie is thinking, "Come play with me, doggy." Can the dog read their minds? So now Nicole's gonna release the dog. We'll speed the video up to make it easier to see what happens. There. She went to see Maddie, who was thinking positive thoughts. Could there be something to it? So now we've reversed positions. Maddie's now thinking negative thoughts, and Nathan's thinking positive. Let's see who the dog goes to. She went to the positive person again. We repeated the experiment many times, and almost every time Mary got it right. So we tried with another dog. So now again, Nathan's gonna be thinking negative thoughts, and Maddie over there is gonna be thinking positive thoughts. And time again, the dogs were attracted to the person thinking positive thoughts. These dogs really seem to be psychic. So Nicole, we've done it. We've proved that dogs can read people's minds. Do you think the scientific community would agree with us?
Well, actually, Araya, I think it's time for you to go see a friend of mine.
So what do you think about the experiment we filmed, Dr. Wynn? Do we have psychic dogs?
Well, Araya, you have some smart dogs, but I don't think they're psychic. I think these dogs have been living around people for a long time, and they've had plenty of time to see that when somebody pulls up a book and settles down to start reading, probably you're not going to get any more treats out of that person.
That's right. The negative person in our experiment was often hiding her face. That's probably why the dog didn't go to her. Well, what do you think about all the amazing things that dogs do? I mean, like finding their way home when they're lost, or knowing their owner is thinking about going for a walk, or that it's time for them to take their medicine. If they're not psychic, how do they do it?
Well, it's true that dogs can do a lot of amazing things, but you go to the dog park and you look on the notice board, there's a lot of very sad notices there for people trying to find their dogs that didn't find their way home. But the amazing ability dogs have to follow what people are up to, that's because that's what dogs do. People who have a dog at home, their dog just follows what they're doing all day long.
Dr. Wynn says dogs are watching us a lot more carefully than we think. So it seems like dogs might not have to have psychic abilities to notice all the little things their owners are doing. And as far as dogs knowing when their owners are coming home, well, maybe dogs just know their owners are coming back because it seems like the right amount of time has passed by. Or maybe they are psychic. One thing's for sure, to a dog, the person who takes care of them, feeds them, plays with them is the most important person in the world to them. It makes sense that they would notice all the little things we do. Mabo, cruiser. Through. Hey, high five.
I can't work with these crickets chirping.
I know. Doubting Dave said that they escaped from the lab, and once they get loose, they're almost impossible to catch.
Wasn't he testing them to see if they were psychic?
Yeah, I think so.
Then maybe if we think, come to me, they'll crawl out from wherever they are and we can catch them.
It's worth a try.
Okay. Come to me.
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 Come to me. Hey. I guess it only works on dogs.
Oh, hello. And apparently on rabbits.
Christina? Isn't there a zoo nearby? Christina, you okay?
Yeah. Things aren't always what they seem.